warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I welcome you to lesson 3 of Durus Lugat al-Arabiya, Arabic Made Easy. We have Baytun. Before I begin, this chapter wants to teach us how to use about definite articles and indefinite articles. And in the previous lesson, we learned about haza and zalika, this and that. So one thing I didn't mention in those previous lessons was that haza and zalika are both masculine. So we use them for masculine, things that are masculine in nature. So in common lenses, we also see how we say this and that in feminine forms. All right. So, but before that, before we go into that, we're going to be looking at tanween and al-ma'rifa. We're going to be looking at tanween and al-ma'rifa. So, tanween indicates, like we mentioned in the first lesson, tanween indicates on specificity, that is things that are not specific. And while ma'rifa is the opposite of tanween. Ma'rifa is telling us that this thing is specific, this thing we know about. So, for example, we have baytun and al-bayt. Baytun means a house with the indefinite article a, and al-baytu means the house with the definite article the. So, in Arabic language, how we identify if a word is having a definite article or an indefinite article is by the tanween or the ma'rifa. So if a word is having the tanween at the end, it means that word is having the indefinite article, which is a. And if it is having an alif and lam at the beginning, it means it's having the definite article the. And note, they can't have both of them. You can have both an indefinite and a definite article in the same word. So you can have al-baytun. It's not possible. You can only have baytun or al-bayt. All right. So baytun or al-bayt. So like I said, baytun means a house and al-bayt means the house. And qalamun, a pen, and al-qalamun means the pen. And kitabun means a book. Al-kitab means the book. Jamalun means a camel, and al-jamal means the camel. So al-qalamu maqsur. The pen is broken. All right, maqsur, the pen is broken. And maqsur, the word maqsur is means when something is broken, right? And al-babu means maftuh. Al-babu maftuhun. The door is opened, okay? And al-waladu jalis wal mudarrisu waqif. The teacher is sitting and the student is standing. So normally, inshallah, normally I would have gone through the roots of all of these words, like words like maqsoor and maftuh and jalis. But because we're all beginners, we're just starting. So going into the root of these words will take us a long way in understanding them. So it's best I just skip it a little bit then. And in fact, these words and roots of words actually are already in common lessons. Okay, they're already in this book, but they're treating it little by little. So in common lessons, we'll be able to talk more about words and their roots. So let's just know that maqsoor means broken and maftuh means open. But if you notice, there's some similarities in these words and some words that you must have probably heard in the past. For example, maftuh and the word miftah. You can see miftah and maftuh are having a connection. Like when you say miftah, miftah means a key, and maftuh means something that is opened. You can see that there are three letters that are connecting these two words, which is faf, ta, and ha. All right, faf, ta, and ha. And the funny thing is that when you combine those three letters together, you get a verb which is fataha. All right, fataha. And fataha in Arabic language is a verb which means to open something. So you can see from that same verb you got maftuh, which means something is opened. From the same verb you got miftah, which means a key. Okay, which means a key. And we also have al-waladu jalis. The boy is sitting, wal mudarrisu waqif, and the teacher is standing. And mudarris also, you can find another connection with probably another word you've heard in our previous lesson, ad-dars. Okay, in the first lesson you have ad-dars al-awwal, ad-dars al-thani, and you can see that there's a connection between dars and al-mudarris. Dars means lesson, al-mudarris means a teacher, someone who takes the lessons. So that's the beautiful thing about Arabic language. There are connections between the words, and those connections, there are also connections between the meanings of those words. Okay, so we have al-kitabu jadid, the book is new, wal-qalamu qadim, and the pen is old. Al-himaru saghir, the camel is short, the donkey is short. Wal-hisanu kabir, and the horse is big. Alright, sorry, saghir means small. Al-himaru saghir, the donkey is small. Wal-hisanu, and the horse kabir is big. Al-kursiyu maqsur, the chair is broken. Al-mindilu wasikhun, handkerchief is dirty. Al-ma'u barid, the water is cold. Al-qamaru jamil, the moon is beautiful. So you can see a lot of how can I put it? A lot of adjectives have been given here. So we have a lot of them here, and they're being, so we have barid, we have jamil, we have wasikh, we have kabir, we have maqsoor. Okay, a lot of them are being put here, so take note of them and try to use them in your own sentences. Okay, look for something that is broken, find the word in Arabic language and just add maqsoor to it. Look for something that is cold, all right, find one in Arabic language and just add barid to it. And we have, now let's go on to the examples. We have al baytu qarib, the house is nearby. Wal masjidu ba'id, and the masjid is far away. Al hajaru thaqil, the stone or the rock is heavy. Wal waraqu khafif, now this word is khafif, khafif, and the leaf is light. Waraq means leaf. And we have al labanu har, the milk is hot. Al qamis nadhif, the shirt is clean. Okay, so a lot of adjectives have been given. Maftuh, maqsoor, jalis, waqif. They all mean broken, opened, sitting, standing. We also have words like jadid and qadim, which means new and old. Sagir and kabir, which means small and big. Maqsoor means broken, and wasikh means dirty. Jamil means beautiful. Barid means cold. Qarib means nearby. Ba'id means far away. Thaqil means heavy, and khafif means light. Har means hot, and nadhif means clean. So all of these words are given, and so I've just given you the meaning of this adjective. So let's go on to the test questions. Like I said, very important part of the book. اقرأ واكتب مع الضبط أواخر الكلمات. So you're asked to read, write, and add the appropriate harakat to the end of each word. Okay, like masjid, what is it going to have at the end? You know, because we've just been taught about tanween and ma'rifa, having a tanween at the end, or a ma'rifa. So what do you think will masjid have at the end of its at its end is going to be a tanween, because it doesn't have a ma'rifa. So it's going to have the indefinite article tanween, so it's going to be masjidun. Okay, al masjidu, now this would be al masjidu without a tanween. Al ma'u without a tanween, because it's already having alif and lam. And we have ma'un with a tanween. Al bayt without a tanween, al baytu. And babun, babun, you're going to have to add the tanween. So we also have in the next lesson iqra waktub, read and write, so to help refresh your memory. So you have al maktab maqsoor, the desk is broken. Al madarrisu jadid, the teacher is new, so you can remember all of these adjectives. So now you're being asked to fill in these empty spaces. In the third test question, you're being asked to fill in the empty spaces with the appropriate adjectives, like how you can, so what adjective fits the subject. So we have al-hajar, the first sentence, al-hajar. Now, which one of these adjectives do you think best fits with hajar? So according to the passage itself, thaqil best fits with it. So you just add thaqil to it. Al-hajar thaqil, the rock is heavy. All right, and of course we have al-qamar. So what adjective do you think best fits with it? Al-qamaru jamil, the moon is beautiful. Okay, so and here also now in the fourth test question, you've been asked to do the opposite of what you did in the third test question. Now you've been asked to put in the right subject to the that best fits with the adjective. So you can think of anything that is clean, a shirt, qamis, al-qamisu nadhif. Okay, the shirt is clean. Okay, now one thing I want to mention again is that if you notice, before you can give a word an adjective, or before you can qualify a word with an adjective, that word has to be in the ma'rifa. It has to have the alif and lam, because you can notice that every word and every one of the word here, they all happen to have alif and lam, and their adjectives are having tanween. Alright, the adjectives are having tanween. Now the reason why the words are having alif and lam here is because now we know a little bit about what we're qualifying, right? We know that the book is new, right? Now we know that this book is new. Okay, initially when we said haza kitabun, this is a book, we knew nothing about the book. But now that we're qualifying the book, we're explaining something about the book, or quality about that book, we're able to say al kitab. Now we're saying this book is new. All right, and we're not saying this is a new book. All right, al kitabu jadid, this book is new. Wal qalamu qadim, and the moon is far. So now we know which moon we're talking of, we know which book we're talking of. So that's why they're having alif and lam. So this is to tell you that once you're qualifying a word, make sure that word has the definite article alif and lam attached to it. All right, so let's go on to where we stopped. The fourth test questions. You've been told to put in the right subjects, and that best fits with the right qualifiers, the best adjectives. So that is that for that. So for example, let me do just one more for you. So we have the second one here, مقصور. So what do you think could be broken? A pen can be broken. القلم مقصور. A chair can also be broken. الكرسي مقصور. Now we have الكلمات الجديدة, new words. Now a bunch of new words we have here. We have القمر, we have جديد, we have قديم, we have وسخ, نظيف, حار, بارد. And all of these words I already told you the meaning. Qamar means moon, Jadid means new, Qadim means old, Wasikh means dirty, Nadhif means clean, Har means hot, Barid means cold, Saghir means small, Kabir means big, Maftuh means opened, Maqsoor means broken, Thaqil means heavy, Khafif means light, Jamil means beautiful, Waqif means standing, Jalis means sitting. So now we're giving more examples again. We have things like now here, look at this. We have najmun and an-najmu, a group of other examples. A star, the star. We have rajulun and ar-rajulu, a man and the man. Deekun, a cock, a deek and the cock. Talib, a student, and a talib, the student. So again, we're given group of examples again for these words. We have a najmu ba'id, the star is far away. Ar-rajul waqif, the man is standing. As-sukaru hulwun, the sugar is sweet. When you say hulwun, it means sweet. At-talibu marid, the student is sick or ill. Ad-diku jamil, the cock is beautiful. Ad-daftaru jadid, the book is new. At-tajir gani, the merchant is rich. Gani means rich. All right. Ad-dukan means maftuh. Ad-dukan maftuh. Sorry. The shop is open. Al-waladu faqir, the boy is poor. And tufahu ladith, and the apple is sweet or delicious. Let's say delicious for that. Now we have tabib tawil. A-tabibu tawil, the doctor is tall. Wal-maridu qasir, and the sick is short. So, and we also have test questions. Also, we're giving test questions: al-bab, al-tajir, al-najmu, al-qamar, al-dik, al-ma, al-sarir, al-bayt, al-masjid. Now we're being told to read all of this and write them down. And here we're being told to give these adjectives the right subjects. So just put in the right subjects for those ones too. And also in the third test questions, you're being told to you're given a set of words in a column, another set of words in another column. You're being told to attach the two of them. Okay, you're being told to attach the two of them to the right adjectives. For example, you have a talib here. Which one do you think qualifies a talib best here? So you have marid, so you just attach them together. And you also have new words: hulwun, maridun, dukanun, gani, tawil. Sweet, sick. Dukan means shop, gani means rich, tawil means tall, faqir means poor, qasir means short, at-tufah means apple. All right, now and lastly, let's take a look at حروف الشمسية وحروف القمرية. Now, very simple lesson. حروف الشمسية and حروف القمرية, they're basically letters, and they tell you about letters that start with a condition of you either pronouncing the lam or escaping it. So for example, al-qamariya is telling you that whatever you find or whenever you have alif al-lam or the ma'rifa attached to these letters, you have to pronounce the lam of that ma'rifa. So for example, you have al-ab, okay, and al-bab, al-jannah, al-himar, al-khubs, al-ain, al-gada. So all of these letters are huruf al-qamariya. They're moon letters, which means when you attach alif al-lam to them, or when you find them in the beginning of a word and you add alif al-lam to them, you have to pronounce the alif al-lam. So for example, ab is the origin of this word, but when we added alif al-lam, it becomes al-ab, so that lam has to be pronounced. Then al-bab, the door, so when you add alif al-lam to it, the root of it, the word is bab, just bab. When you add alif al-lam, it becomes al-bab, with you pronouncing the lam. But what about huruf al-shamsiyya? Huruf al-shamsiyya is the opposite of this huruf al-qamariyya. It's telling you that whenever you find or whenever alif and lam is attached to a word that starts with a huruf al-shamsiyya, you don't pronounce the huruf there. Okay, you do not pronounce the hurufs there. You don't pronounce the letters. So you have to escape you have to escape the lam. All right, you have to escape the lam. So you have a tajir, we have a thawb, okay, you have a dik, you have a zahab. All right, so and so that way you're not pronouncing the alif and lam, you're escaping it and you're going straight to the third letter. A tajir, a thawb, a dig, and so on and so forth, inshallah. So in these test questions, you're being told to pronounce these words, so they want to know if you truly identify huruf al-qamariyya, and you can tell the difference between a word that starts with huruf al-qamariyya and a word that starts with huruf al-shamsiyya. So for example, al-bayt means the house, and adik means the cock. So you can see al-bayt and adik are two different, starting with two different letters. Al-bayt is starting with the huruf al-qamariyya, and adik is starting with the huruf al-shamsiyya, with the harf al-shamsiyya. So you can see when we pronounce them, you can see we're pronouncing the alif and lam of al-bayt, and when you're pronouncing adik, you're not pronouncing the alif and lam, because dal is a huruf al-shamsiyya. So that is all for this lesson today, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.